In the quiet corners of America, where forgotten pocket change sleeps, and where history hides in the smallest details, three legendary treasures begin to rise: the 1967 Roosevelt dime, the 1986 P. Roosevelt dime, and the 1998 D. Roosevelt dime. Coins that look ordinary, coins that feel simple, yet coins that carry mysteries deeper than most collectors ever imagine. And as their names echo through the numismatic world, whispers grow louder, curiosity intensifies, and the stories behind these dimes pull collectors into a world filled with rarity, error, survival, and fate. Imagine a single dime slipping from a hand, rolling slowly across a wooden table, its ridged edge tapping softly, its surface catching a thin beam of light. And in that tiny shimmer lies a secret, a clue, a revelation waiting to be seen. For these coins are not just dimes. They are chapters of American minting history, born in different decades, shaped by unexpected conditions, and protected by unbelievable luck. And tonight, on Rare Coins Info, you and I will uncover every hidden layer, every strange detail, and every numismatic truth that transform these simple Roosevelt dimes into legends. So breathe in, lean closer, and get ready, because their secrets are about to unfold in ways you never expected. The 1967 Roosevelt dime, its story unfolds like a secret whispered across decades, a coin small in size yet monumental in history, minted during a time of transition and uncertainty, when the United States Mint was still adjusting after the removal of silver from circulating dimes, and the country had only recently experienced the coin shortages of the early 1960s. Millions of coins rushed through production lines under immense pressure. Yet among them a few emerged with subtle anomalies, imperfections, and hidden variations that only the trained eye could recognize. And it is these tiny details that would later transform an ordinary dime into one of the most legendary pieces in numismatic history. As you hold this coin in your hand, or visualize it in front of you, you can feel the weight of its history pressing through the copper-nickel-clad layers, each measuring 2.27 grams in weight, 17.91 millimeters in diameter, 1.35 millimeters thick, with a bonded copper core that seems ordinary, but carries the secrets of minting processes and mechanical precision. And the first thing a collector notices under magnification is the sharpness of the lettering, the alignment of the torch and olive branch, the delicate contours of Roosevelt's hair, the flow lines in the metal, the subtle reflections of the fields, and even the faint satiny frost left by the dyes, all whispering the story of the minting conditions, the pressures of production, the mechanical stresses, and the human hands guiding the presses. And as collectors examine multiple examples, they notice micro-variations in strike quality, rim thickness, luster retention, and metal flow. Tiny distinctions that separate a dime worth a few dollars from one worth millions. And this is where numismatics becomes detective work. A meticulous study of history encoded in metal. A journey that connects collectors to the mint, the economy, and the circulation patterns of the past. And the thrill intensifies when discovering pristine examples untouched by wear, free from rim nicks, scratches, or abrasions. Coins that have survived decades as time capsules carrying echoes of an era. And these survivors allow collectors to trace the subtle changes between different dies, strikes, and planchets, offering clues about minting schedules, die wear, and press variations. And as we dig deeper into 1967 minting history, the lack of mint marks becomes crucial, requiring experts to identify origin based on subtle characteristics, die polish lines, and planchet features, making any anomalies from this year even more valuable, from faint doubling to minor misalignments to rare planchet flaws, each carrying the potential to elevate the coin's rarity and value. And when submitted for grading at PCGS or NGC, these dimes are analyzed with extreme scrutiny. Every contour, every micromark, every trace of luster, strike, or metal flow becoming evidence of condition, rarity, and authenticity, because even a single grade difference, such as MS-66 versus MS-67, can change the coin's standing among collectors and its market value dramatically. And once authenticated, the next step is ensuring it reaches the right collectors. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, and other reputable platforms provide global visibility, connecting rare coins with serious collectors who understand their historical and numismatic significance. And the emotional connection emerges as collectors realize the coin is more than metal. It is a story preserved, a mystery solved, a tangible link to history, and the thrill of spotting subtle errors, faint die cracks, or misaligned strikes turns collecting into a passion, an adventure, a hunt for the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary, and the anticipation grows as one imagines opening jars of old change, envelopes tucked in drawers, forgotten collections, each coin a potential discovery. And the 1967 Roosevelt dime hides its secrets beneath its modest exterior, requiring patience, knowledge, and a keen eye to uncover the full story. And as we continue to study the coin, the interplay between its physical attributes, minting history, grading, market value, and collector enthusiasm forms a tapestry that elevates it from mere currency to legend. And this journey is far from over as we explore every detail, every nuance, and every anomaly, revealing why this small coin captures the hearts of collectors. And as we move deeper into its narrative, the story of the 1967 Roosevelt dime grows more astonishing, more complex, more emotional, and more rewarding. And the suspense builds knowing that each detail uncovered could reveal a twist in its history, a clue to its rarity, or a hint of value that transforms it from a simple dime into a treasure coveted by collectors around the world. As we continue our journey with the 1967 Roosevelt dime, every detail becomes more captivating, every ridge and contour more significant, because this coin is a product of an era, a reflection of the United States Mint's challenges, and a silent witness to history. And collectors know that understanding a coin is more than measuring weight, diameter, and thickness. It is about recognizing the subtle interplay of minting techniques, the variations that occur from die to die, the unexpected anomalies, and the faint differences in pressure that can create small but powerful deviations in each coin. And as one studies the coin under magnification, the faint doubling of the date, the micro-polish lines across the fields, the almost imperceptible die cracks along the rim, the soft or sharp flow of metal around Roosevelt's portrait, all tell a story of survival, of precision, of chance, and the excitement grows as collectors identify these features, knowing that each one can elevate a coin from ordinary to extraordinary. And this is where the world of numismatics becomes thrilling, blending history, art, engineering, and chance. Because a coin is never simply metal, it is the product of machines, skilled mint workers, economic pressures, and the unpredictability of circulation. And the emotional resonance is undeniable, because holding a 1967 Roosevelt dime in perfect condition is like holding a piece of the past, a small yet potent time capsule that connects you to generations of Americans. The design itself tells a story. Roosevelt's calm yet determined expression, the torch and olive branch symbolizing liberty and peace, the flowing lines capturing the artistry of John R. Sinek, and yet beneath the artistry, the subtle variations of production reveal the human side of coinage, mistakes, pressures, imperfections, and yet beauty emerges, and the mint's decision to remove mint marks that year adds complexity, forcing collectors to identify the origin of each coin through physical characteristics rather than simple labels, increasing the challenge and the reward. And this uncertainty is part of what drives collectors to search tirelessly through pocket change, old coin rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten jars, because discovering a pristine example with rare characteristics is like uncovering a hidden treasure. And when such a coin is submitted to PCGS or NGC, it undergoes rigorous analysis, experts evaluating every strike, every contour, every trace of luster, every micro-scratch, because the tiniest detail can affect the grade, and the grade directly affects its rarity, market value, and desirability among collectors. And understanding the grading scale is essential, because MS65, MS66, MS67, each step represents a leap in scarcity, and a coin that survives decades in uncirculated condition can become a legend. And the thrill of the hunt is matched by the potential of financial reward. Yet the true joy comes from discovery, knowledge, and connection to history. And as one studies the coin further, the plancher quality becomes evident. The copper-nickel layers bonded over a pure copper core, the careful strikes, the pressure applied by mint presses, the temperature of the metal, all influencing the final product, and sometimes small plancher flaws, slight misalignments, or weak strikes create the rarest anomalies. Coins that once unnoticed now demand attention, admiration, and respect. And the story does not end with discovery, because selling such a coin requires strategy, authentication, and presentation. Submitting to reputable grading companies ensures collectors trust the coin's legitimacy, and auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections provide access to serious collectors worldwide, guaranteeing visibility, authenticity, and the best chance to achieve maximum value. And the process itself is part of the collector's journey, understanding history, market dynamics, and the stories behind each coin. And as we imagine holding a perfect 1967 Roosevelt dime, we picture its journey from mint to circulation to survival through decades, untouched by wear, preserved by luck, and eventually discovered by a collector who recognizes its rarity and every small detail matters, from luster retention to sharpness of edges to subtle marks on the fields, because these are the features that define value and rarity. And the excitement intensifies when considering potential mint errors, a misaligned die, faint doubling, thin plancher, or other anomalies, all of which can turn an already remarkable coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And collectors across the United States understand this thrill, scanning rolls, drawers, jars, and collections, hoping to uncover a gem that others overlooked, and the anticipation of discovery. The careful study of each coin, the analysis under magnification, the comparison with known examples, all become a ritual, a practice of patience, knowledge, and dedication, and the emotional connection is profound, because holding such a coin is holding history, artistry, and human endeavor, all encapsulated in a small silver-colored disc. And the 1967 Roosevelt dime also teaches lessons about the mint's evolving techniques, the challenges of production, and the role of chance in creating rare examples. And the more one studies it, the more the complexity of the era emerges, with each subtle feature revealing another layer of story. And as we near the conclusion of this part of the journey, it is important to reflect on why this coin is celebrated, admired, and sought after by collectors, because it embodies rarity, history, beauty, and the thrill of discovery. And it serves as a reminder that even ordinary coins can hold extraordinary secrets, waiting for the patient, knowledgeable, and passionate collector to uncover. And the story does not end here, because every detail, every ridge, every nuance, every hidden anomaly contributes to the legend of the 1967 Roosevelt dime, and the anticipation builds for what comes next in our exploration of Roosevelt dimes, as the 1986 P Roosevelt dime awaits with its own unique story, secrets, and mysteries. And for now, the 1967 dime remains a testament to history, artistry, human endeavor, chance, and the enduring thrill of coin collecting. And as we close this chapter, remember that every collector's journey begins with curiosity, observation, and the courage to look closer, because within the ordinary lies the extraordinary. And within every coin lies a story waiting to be discovered, cherished, and preserved for generations to come. Now turn our attention to the 1986 P Roosevelt dime, a coin minted during a period of renewed interest in modern coinage, a time when collectors were beginning to focus not only on historical silver coins, but also on the subtleties of circulation dimes and the hidden stories within. And the 1986 P dime, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, carries both familiarity and mystery. It is part of a series that has been widely circulated, yet among the millions of coins produced that year, a few exceptional examples quietly carry features that set them apart, and to understand this coin fully, one must consider its physical specifications: its weight 2.27 grams, its diameter 17.91 millimeters, its thickness 1.35 millimeters, its copper-nickel-clad composition bonded over a pure copper core. And these details, though technical, are critical because they form the foundation for understanding how subtle anomalies, strike variations, or plancher differences occur. And when a collector examines a 1986 P. Roosevelt dime under magnification, the excitement begins. The sharpness of the lettering, the detail in Roosevelt's hair, the alignment of the torch and olive branch, the condition of the rim, the faint satiny frost remaining on the fields, the micro-variations caused by dye wear, all of these features combine to tell a story that is invisible to the casual observer but utterly compelling to the dedicated numismatist. And this coin exists in a space where history meets chance because it was minted in vast quantities, yet even within this mass production, mint employees, presses, and planchers interacted in ways that could create anomalies, and a slight misalignment of the die, a minor doubling, an unusually strong or weak strike. Even a faint plancher flaw can transform an otherwise ordinary dime into a rarity that draws the attention of collectors worldwide. And the process of identifying these subtleties requires patience, expertise, and a keen eye. Because the difference between a common circulation coin and one worth millions is often invisible to anyone not trained in numismatic observation, and this is where grading becomes essential. Submitting the coin to professional services like PCGS or NGC ensures authentication, provides a standardized assessment of condition and rarity, and allows collectors to understand exactly where their coin stands in comparison to the millions of others produced in the same year. And the emotional impact of holding a high-grade 1986 P. Roosevelt dime is profound because it represents a survivor, a coin that has endured decades of handling, circulation, and environmental factors, yet remains remarkably preserved, a tangible connection to the mint and to history itself. And as collectors examine the coin further, they note micro-details such as the flow of metal around Roosevelt's portrait, the smoothness of the fields, the subtle marks left by press operation, tiny scratches, faint abrasions, and the presence or absence of reflective luster, all of which provide clues to its journey and condition. And when anomalies are present, the excitement increases. A double die, a weak strike, a plancher defect, or even a minor die crack elevates the coin's status from ordinary to extraordinary, and collectors eagerly hunt through rolls of dimes, old coin collections, inherited coins, or forgotten jars in search of the next legendary find, and the thrill of discovery is matched only by the anticipation of verification, because submitting a coin to a grading service is a critical step, ensuring authenticity, assessing grade, and providing credibility in the collector market. And the 1986 P. Roosevelt dime is particularly fascinating because its production techniques reflect both traditional minting practices and subtle technological improvements. The dies carefully prepared, the planchers checked for thickness and composition, the presses maintained to strike millions of coins, yet within these controlled processes, minor variations still emerge, creating opportunities for collectors to find coins that stand out. And as one studies a high-grade 1986 P dime, the contrast between the reflective fields and the frosted devices becomes apparent. The crispness of the rims, the sharpness of the lettering, the precise alignment of the date and mint mark, all serving as indicators of both strike quality and preservation. And for collectors, understanding these physical cues is essential because they determine value, rarity, and desirability. And when combined with historical knowledge of mint operations, coinage trends, and collector behavior, they transform simple observation into expert analysis. And beyond the technical details, The 1986 P dime carries emotional weight because it connects modern collectors to past generations, to the designers, to the mint employees, and to the millions of hands through which it has passed. And in certain examples, subtle anomalies appear that elevate the coin to legendary status. Features that could include faint doubling on the date, slight misalignment of the mint mark, die cracks, or unusual planchet characteristics, each of which tells a story about chance, production, and history, and submitting such a coin to PCGS or NGC ensures that these qualities are recognized, graded, and authenticated, giving collectors confidence, increasing market visibility, and often dramatically enhancing value. And when it comes to selling, the choice of platform is equally important. Reputable auction houses, specialized numismatic dealers, and online platforms that cater to serious collectors provide both visibility and credibility. Ensuring that a coin of exceptional quality or rarity reaches the right audience, and as one imagines holding a pristine 1986 P Roosevelt dime, the weight in the hand, the cool metal surface, the reflective shine, and the sharp details all contribute to a sense of wonder, appreciation, and respect, a tangible connection to the mint, to history, and to the art of coin collecting itself. And the story of this coin is far from ordinary, because within the millions produced, some examples emerge as extraordinary survivors. Coins that retain their luster, show minimal signs of wear, and possess subtle anomalies that make them highly desirable. And collectors recognize that discovering such a coin is both a triumph and a privilege, because it requires patience, skill, knowledge, and a bit of luck. And the excitement of discovery, combined with the potential for authentication, grading, and market recognition, creates an unparalleled experience for those dedicated to the hobby. And as the narrative unfolds, it becomes clear that the 1986 P Roosevelt dime is not merely a piece of currency, but a story preserved in metal, a challenge for the observer, a reward for the diligent, and a connection to history, artistry, and human endeavor. And as this journey continues, the anticipation builds for the next revelation, the next discovery, because within the world of Roosevelt dimes, every detail matters, every ridge tells a story, every reflective surface holds a secret, and the pursuit of these coins is both an intellectual adventure and an emotional experience. As we continue exploring the 1986 P Roosevelt dime, every detail becomes more significant, every nuance more fascinating, because this coin is not simply metal, it is history captured in copper and nickel layers, it is artistry preserved through decades, and it is the thrill of discovery condensed into a small, seemingly ordinary object. And collectors know that the journey does not end with merely identifying a dime. It continues through careful observation, comparison with known examples, and a meticulous study of minting techniques, because even subtle differences can signal rarity, value, and historical significance. And examining the coin closely under magnification reveals the story of its creation, the faint press marks, the flow of metal around Roosevelt's profile, the smooth or frosted fields, the sharpness of edges, the alignment of the torch and olive branch, and every minor detail from luster retention to micro-abrasions tells a story of survival through circulation and handling. And when anomalies appear, such as a faint doubled die, slight misalignment of the mint mark, minor die cracks, or subtle planchet flaws, excitement surges because these features elevate a coin from ordinary circulation into the realm of legendary collector pieces, and the process of grading becomes the next essential step. Submitting the coin to PCGS or NGC ensures authentication, assigns a standardized grade, and confirms its place within the collector market, because even coins that look visually similar can have drastically different values depending on numerical grading and population reports. And a coin graded MS66 or MS67 may appear nearly identical to an untrained eye, yet its rarity and value are dramatically higher, and the emotional connection deepens when collectors realize they are holding a piece of history that survived decades unscathed. A coin that has witnessed economic shifts, changes in minting technology, and the hands of countless Americans, and the thrill of discovery is heightened when the coin exhibits subtle imperfections or rare features that were unnoticed by previous holders, features that now define its uniqueness and desirability. And the physical characteristics of the 1986 P. Roosevelt dime play a vital role in this assessment, weighing 2.27 grams, measuring 17.91 millimeters in diameter, 1.35 millimeters in thickness, composed of a copper nickel clad over a pure copper core, and these specifications are essential for collectors to understand because variations in plancher preparation, metal composition, or press conditions can result in anomalies that are highly sought after, and the coin's survival over decades is a testament to luck, careful handling, and the sometimes unpredictable nature of circulation. And the excitement multiplies when considering the coin's history, minted during a period of strong collector interest, with the Philadelphia Mint striving for precision and consistency. Yet even in such controlled production environments, tiny variations occurred, anomalies that now define its legendary status among collectors. And as the narrative unfolds, it is easy to see why the 1986 P. Roosevelt dime captures the imagination of numismatists. Because it is simultaneously common enough to be found, yet rare enough to provide the thrill of discovery. And the study of grading reports, population data, and auction results reveals patterns that help collectors identify the most significant coins, those that will command the attention of serious buyers and the highest market value. And selling such a coin requires strategy, knowledge, and access to reputable venues, because auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections provide platforms where rare coins meet knowledgeable collectors, ensuring authenticity, visibility, and the potential for maximum return. And for collectors, the joy comes not only from potential financial gain, but from understanding the coin's story, appreciating the artistry and skill that went into its creation, and feeling the connection to history that only a well-preserved coin can provide. And as one studies multiple examples, comparing luster, strike quality, field preservation, and subtle anomalies, the excitement of discovery grows because each feature may represent a variation, an error, or a rare characteristic, and identifying these qualities is both an intellectual challenge and a deeply satisfying achievement. And as the collector journey continues, the anticipation of finding the perfect example in a roll, a drawer, an inherited collection, or a forgotten coin jar becomes almost tangible, because the reward is not only in possession, but in knowledge, understanding, and the thrill of uncovering a coin that may have eluded others for decades. And the emotional resonance intensifies when considering that a single 1986 P. Roosevelt dime could carry a subtle doubling, a faint die crack, a plancher irregularity, or a rare luster pattern that transforms it into a coveted piece. And these details, though easily missed by the untrained eye, are immediately recognized by the seasoned collector as indicators of potential significance and extraordinary value. And submitting such a coin for grading ensures recognition of its unique attributes, provides a trusted assessment of its quality, and allows it to reach the audience most capable of appreciating and valuing it. And as we reflect on the story of the 1986 P dime, it becomes clear that this coin is more than currency. It is a bridge between past and present, a vessel of history, a piece of art, and a source of excitement for collectors who seek to understand and preserve the legacy of coinage. And the narrative of this coin is far from static. Every ridge, every reflection, every subtle anomaly contributes to the legend of Roosevelt dimes, connecting collectors to the mint, to history, and to the ongoing pursuit of knowledge. And as the journey with this coin draws to a close, it is important to remember that every collector's experience is shaped by curiosity, patience, and the courage to examine deeply, because within the ordinary surface of a 1986 P. Roosevelt dime lies extraordinary potential, stories waiting to be discovered, secrets waiting to be uncovered, and the thrill of connecting with history preserved in metal. and this coin stands as a testament to the artistry, precision, and chance that define the world of numismatics, inspiring collectors to continue exploring, learning, and seeking out the next hidden gem, because within every dime, within every subtle variation, there exists the promise of discovery, excitement, and a tangible connection to the past, present, and future of coin collecting. And the 1986 Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become extraordinary, legendary, and unforgettable, leaving collectors in awe of its story, its rarity, and its enduring appeal. And as we close this chapter and look ahead, the anticipation builds for the next coin in our series, the 1998 Roosevelt dime, with its own secrets, anomalies, and historical significance, continuing the journey through history, rarity, and the thrill of numismatic discovery. As our journey reaches the 1998 Roosevelt dime, we find ourselves entering a world where modern minting practices meet the ongoing fascination of collectors. A coin that appears ordinary at first glance, yet carries hidden stories, subtle nuances, and potential surprises that can elevate it from everyday currency to a collector's treasure. And the 1998 dime, struck at the Denver Mint, reflects a period of precise mass production. Yet within these millions of coins, anomalies, die variations, and rare examples quietly emerged, waiting to be discovered by those with patience, knowledge, and a keen eye. And to appreciate this coin fully, one must first consider its physical attributes. Its weight, 2.27 grams, its diameter, 17.91 millimeters, its thickness, 1.35 millimeters, its copper-nickel-clad composition over a pure copper core, and these specifications, while seemingly simple, form the foundation for understanding the minting processes, the subtle variations, and the characteristics that define rarity and value. And as collectors examine a 1998 Roosevelt dime under magnification, the excitement begins. The detail in Roosevelt's portrait, the flow of hairlines, the sharpness of the torch and olive branch, the reflective fields contrasted with frosted devices, the smoothness of the rims, and even the faint marks left by press operation all tell a story of production, survival, and historical context. And the thrill intensifies when anomalies appear, faint doubling, die cracks, slight misalignment, or planchet irregularities, because these features, though subtle, dramatically affect both the historical interest and the collector value, and the process of grading becomes essential. Submitting the coin to PCGS or NGC ensures authentication, provides a standardized numerical grade, and allows collectors to understand its market position and rarity, because even a 1-point difference in grade can change the coin's market value substantially. And as the coin is studied further, collectors note the quality of the strike, the retention of luster, the preservation of edges, the presence or absence of scratches, nicks, or abrasions, because these elements collectively determine whether the coin is ordinary or exceptional. And understanding the history of the 1998 dime provides additional context, as the Denver Mint in 1998 utilized precise automated presses, quality-controlled planchets, and modern techniques that generally produced consistent coins, yet minor anomalies still occurred, resulting in rare coins highly prized by collectors. And the emotional connection emerges when holding a high-grade example, a coin that survived decades in circulation or in private collections with minimal wear, a tangible link to both the minting process and the passage of time. And collectors know that finding such a coin is both a challenge and a reward, requiring examination of rolls, inherited collections, coin jars, and even forgotten envelopes. And the thrill of discovery is amplified when subtle features reveal themselves. Faint die doubling, slight die cracks along the rim, weak or strong strikes in certain areas, and planchet imperfections that may have gone unnoticed because each feature carries a story, a history, and a potential for extraordinary value. And submitting such a coin to PCGS or NGC ensures that these qualities are officially recognized, authenticated and recorded, providing collectors and potential buyers with confidence, and the excitement continues when considering the potential of selling the coin, because reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections offer platforms where such rare coins can reach serious collectors worldwide, ensuring both visibility and credibility. And the journey of the 1998 Roosevelt dime is not only about rarity or monetary value, it is about understanding its production, appreciating its artistry, observing minute details that distinguish one coin from millions, and feeling the emotional connection that comes from holding history in the hand. And as collectors examine the coin, they consider the interplay of physical attributes, minting history, anomalies, grading, market value, and collector enthusiasm, all of which contribute to the coin's narrative and its place in the numismatic world. And the 1998 dime, though modern, has already begun to establish its legend among collectors, because examples preserved in exceptional condition, free from circulation wear, with strong strikes and minimal flaws, are increasingly rare, and the thrill of identifying these survivors is matched only by the anticipation of authentication, grading, and market recognition. And as one imagines holding a pristine example, the cool metal, the reflective fields, the sharp edges, and the subtle imperfections all combine to evoke wonder, appreciation, and respect. Because the coin is not just metal, it is artistry, history, and human endeavor, condensed into a small, durable, yet delicate piece of numismatic fascination. And beyond technical observation, the 1998 dime is a story of chance, because within millions of coins, only a few emerge with qualities that make them stand out, rare survivors that attract the attention of discerning collectors. And the process of discovery is itself an emotional journey, because it requires patience, skill, knowledge, and sometimes luck. And the coin story is amplified when subtle anomalies are recognized, each representing a quirk of minting, a minor imperfection, or an unusual characteristic that enhances its uniqueness and value. And as collectors explore these details, they are reminded that numismatics is both a science and an art, a careful study of metal, history, and design, and an appreciation for the stories hidden in plain sight, because each ridge, each reflection, each faint mark carries meaning and contributes to the coin's narrative. And submitting such a coin for grading ensures recognition, provides an official record of condition, and opens doors to serious collectors and buyers who understand the coin's significance. And as this journey unfolds, the 1998 Roosevelt dime demonstrates that even modern coins can carry historical, artistic, and collector value, proving that rarity, condition, and anomalies can make a seemingly ordinary coin extraordinary. And the story does not end with observation or grading, because the final step in the collector's journey is sharing knowledge. Selling through proper channels, or preserving the coin for future generations, and every detail contributes to its legend, from die characteristics to planche preparation, from luster retention to edge sharpness, from subtle errors to overall preservation, and the coin becomes a symbol of the enduring fascination, passion, and excitement that defines coin collecting. Because within its small, unassuming form lies history, artistry, human endeavor, and the potential for discovery, thrill, and emotional connection. And as we close this first part, anticipation builds for further exploration into specific anomalies, auction insights, and collector strategies. Because the 1998 dime still has secrets to reveal, mysteries to uncover, and stories to tell to those willing to look closely, study deeply, and appreciate fully. As we delve deeper into the 1998 Roosevelt dime, every ridge, every contour, every reflective surface becomes a clue, a story waiting to be uncovered, because this coin, though modern, carries the weight of history, the precision of the mint, and the excitement of discovery, and collectors understand that even in a seemingly ordinary year, the interaction of planches, dies, and presses can create subtle anomalies, misalignments, faint die doubling, or weak strikes that elevate a coin from common to legendary. And the process of recognizing these features requires knowledge, patience, and an understanding of numismatic terminology, because each detail, the sharpness of the letters, the flow of metal around Roosevelt's profile, the satiny fields, the frosted devices, the crispness of the rim, reveals information about strike quality, die condition, and preservation. And when a high-grade example is discovered, the emotional impact is profound, a feeling of holding history, artistry, and human endeavor in the palm of the hand, a tangible link to decades of minting, circulation, and survival, and submitting such a coin to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC is essential, because authentication and numerical grading provide credibility, confirm rarity, and place the coin within the broader collector market, and even small differences in grade, MS65 versus MS66 or MS67, can dramatically influence desirability and market value. And the study of 1998 D. Roosevelt dimes also involves understanding minting techniques, production volumes, and die variations, because the Denver Mint in 1998 maintained high standards, yet subtle differences in die wear, press pressure, and planche preparation created a few exceptional coins that now stand out among millions, and collectors know that examining these coins under magnification reveals stories invisible to the casual observer. Faint scratches, microabrasions, die lines, and luster variations all becoming pieces of a puzzle that, once solved, distinguish ordinary circulation pieces from rare treasures. And the thrill of discovery drives collectors to search rolls, inherited collections, coin jars, and forgotten envelopes, because the next legendary find could be hidden among hundreds of ordinary dimes. And when anomalies are identified, the excitement is heightened. A small doubled die, faint die cracks along the rim, slight misalignment, or a rare planche. Irregularity can transform a dime into a sought-after collector piece. And the emotional connection intensifies as one realizes that such a coin is not just money, it is history preserved, a snapshot of minting practices, a product of human skill, and a survivor of decades of circulation. And the journey does not end with discovery, because proper authentication, grading, and strategic selling are essential to realizing both the historical and market value. And auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, and specialized numismatic dealers provide platforms where exceptional coins can reach knowledgeable collectors, ensuring credibility, visibility, and the opportunity for maximum return. And collectors understand that the process of selling, like the process of discovering, requires patience, expertise, and careful preparation, because the story, rarity, and condition of the coin must be communicated effectively to attract the right audience. And the 1998 D dime exemplifies how modern coins can achieve legendary status, with high-grade, uncirculated, or subtly anomalous examples becoming highly desirable, and the study of physical characteristics such as weight 2.27 grams, diameter 17.91 millimeters, thickness 1.35 millimeters, copper-nickel-clad composition over pure copper core, luster, edge sharpness, strike quality, and field preservation all contribute to understanding its rarity and value, and the interplay of history, artistry, and chance is palpable, because while millions were minted, only a few survive in pristine condition, and only a few display features that make them extraordinary. And for collectors, this combination of rarity, condition, and potential anomalies is what makes coin collecting both challenging and deeply rewarding, and the emotional journey continues as one imagines discovering such a coin in a jar, a roll, or an inherited collection, and the anticipation builds as the coin is examined, authenticated, and graded, knowing that it may represent one of the finest examples available, and the thrill of holding history, artistry, and human craftsmanship in one's hand is unmatched. And as collectors study multiple examples, comparing luster, strike quality, field preservation, and subtle anomalies, the excitement of discovery grows, because each feature may represent a rare characteristic, and identifying these qualities is both an intellectual challenge and a deeply satisfying achievement. And as the narrative unfolds, the 1998 Roosevelt dime teaches important lessons about the mint, about numismatic observation, and about patience, because even small differences in die lines, pressure, or plancher composition can dramatically affect rarity, value, and desirability. And the story extends beyond technical observation, because this coin represents decades of survival, careful handling, and chance, a tangible connection to history, and an opportunity for collectors to engage with a piece of metal that is simultaneously ordinary and extraordinary. And the 1998 dime, though modern, embodies the enduring fascination of numismatics, because even today, collectors search, study, and preserve these coins, analyzing details invisible to the casual observer, understanding historical context, and appreciating artistry and design. And finally, the journey of this coin reminds us why coin collecting is both an intellectual pursuit and an emotional experience, because within every ridge, reflection, anomaly, and subtle detail lies a story, a history, a mystery, and a connection to generations past, present, and future. And as we conclude the exploration of the 1998 Roosevelt dime, the anticipation remains for the next discovery, the next anomaly, the next coin that will capture the heart of collectors. Because in the world of rare coins, every detail matters, every discovery excites, and every high-grade example tells a story that will be treasured, preserved, and passed on for generations. And as we reflect on this journey, remember that within every dime, even those minted in modern years, lies the potential for extraordinary rarity, historical significance, and the joy of discovery. And this is what makes the pursuit of rare coins timeless, rewarding, and endlessly fascinating.